Bristol Motor Speedway high banks track, quarter-mile long, and doing 150 laps here tonight. Practice laps looking very fast here with Alan Larson at the top of the field so far tonight. You're gonna see if Kyle's back there on his radio. Kyle, you got a copy with us?
Indeed I do, Matt, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Bristol Motor Speedway here for 150 laps of racing action. We got the late models here taking on the half-mile short track for 150 laps in the Cora Sunday Money Series. It should be a good one to watch. Bristol's always a very exciting race to be a part of.
Alright, guys. We're not your normal people here of the Sunday Money series, but I was here all last season, Kyle, and we had the Super Speedway Wonders start out at the beginning of the season. It looks like Dallas Markle taking the win and Dale Smalley following closely behind him like they always do at those huge tracks. Dale Smalley would go on to finish first in the next week, going 1-2 to start off his season. Kyle, excuse me, new guy here with us tonight. I'm usually with Ted, but Kyle with us tonight. Dale Smalley's already taken a huge lead into these points, and we're just going to go run through those real quick with him. So Dale Smalley right now, it looks like, is out front in points. 36 over Dallas Markle, 39 or 38 over Mark Montanari. Michael Churchma, 4th place in points, 40 points back, and Garrett Denton, 5th place, 50 points. Alright, then 6th going back, we're going to have David Wink and Paul Doucette in 7th. Eric Lane, 65 back. Sean Dower is 70 points back, 69. And Mark Jackson, always a strong competitor here at these shorter tracks, only 84 points back. So all these guys still within one race, Kyle Young. Definitely going to be a competitive weekend here at this short track.
Indeed, it will, Matt. With the points being as close as they are, and with Bristol being a very high action track, and with these short tracks, we see a lot of beating and banging, a lot of accidents and stuff. So it'll be important for these points guys to keep their heads on straight and be able to look around and avoid any chaos that I'm sure is probably going to ensue here tonight. It's one of those tracks on the schedule where you kind of circle to kind of plan ahead and look forward to be as kind of a track that could possibly give you some problems throughout your season. So you gotta have to kind of plan for the worst in a way at a track like this, so that way in case something bad does happen to you, you know how to rebound from that quickly and be able to put yourself back out onto the track if it's possible.
Yeah, and definitely we see a lot of people always using the high line here. It's the fastest way around the track, unlike most where you're trying to be at the bottom right up by the wall. So people are going to be getting that little bit of a stripe on the right side of the car and some beating and banging, trying to move people up the track here tonight at Bristol. It looks like they'll be able to do it on just about one stop for gas, but tires are definitely going to be coming down as much as possible, Kyle Young, as this track eats away at those things quicker than anybody would really like to. But for right now, we're going to step away. We're going to let Cora do their opening ceremonies as they do every week, and they believe they got a new video for you guys.
We ask that you all rise, and gentlemen, please remove your caps, as Reverend Dusty Dent gives our pre-race invocation.
Dear Lord, let us pray. We want to thank you, Lord, for all we have. Dear Lord, we ask you that you protect those men and women who serve us both here and abroad. And oh Lord, we give thanks to those who have served us and have given that ultimate sacrifice that we may enjoy the liberties that we have today. And oh Lord, we ask you that you give these drivers the skill and the good internet connection so that we may be given a race like no other. Lord, we ask you that our racing give us the green-white checkers that we so deserve, and that we may enjoy an exciting race to the finish we all want to see. Lord, may you heighten the senses and protect these drivers so that they can give us a three-wide door-banging race to the checkered flag tonight. And can we all say amen? And I'll say amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing as we proudly introduce Jaden Berkey to sing our national anthem.
Glorious and free, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And now at this time, the five sons of our CEO, James Brown, Alex, Andrew, Nick, Cody, and Ethan, will deliver the four most famous words in all of automotive racing. Good luck, drivers. To all those watching, it's time to sit back, relax, and strap it down. Let's go Sunday money racing, Cora style.
Alright, back from the opening ceremonies done up by Cora. Thank you to them for having such a special opening, but we're going to head right down on the track. Is at Bristol, they don't give us much time to run through the order with you guys. James Brown sitting on the pole with a 14.844 here, and Garrett Denton right on his outside in the number 99.
Inside row number 2 in the number 1 machine, that is Everett Lane into his outside, Chase Caber in the 39.
To the outside of him, or excuse me, to the inside, but right behind Everett, you got Michael Johnson in the 78, and on top side, Christopher Mark.
Jay Anderson's number 18 is going to roll off 7th here tonight with Gary Bauer in the 07 in 8th.
9th, Alan Larson, fastest car in practice, but a little bit of trouble here in qualifying for him. 10th, you got David Wink.
The number 51 machine of Paul Doucette is going to roll off here in the 11th spot, and Galen Gildman in the number 04 is going to be to his outside in 12th.
Once again, Kyle not being the normal to this series. Paul Doucette, and actually on our scoreboard tonight, is his son Nicholas Doucette not having his own account, but out here, a young man racing, Nicholas Doucette in the 51. But right behind him, number 14, Mark Montanari, and on the outside of him, Michael Churchman.
Daniel Murphy is number 75, going to roll off 15th with James Thorndike in the 59 to his outside in 16th.
17th, of Colt you got number 81 Colton Berkey on the outside of him, Travis Brown.
Field starts to roll off the grid here for their pace laps, and starting in 19th is going to be Nathan Sedlick, and Dallas Miracle in the 48 is going to be in 20th.
21st, Barry Winburn, and 22nd, Ben Manning.
Ross Cato going to line up 23rd here tonight with Dale Smalley to his outside in the 69.
25th, Joe Vines, and number 2, right on the top side of him, Mark Jacks.
Ralph Shipman in the 22 going to line up 27th with David Williams in the 23 and 28th.
Dale Gravin on the inside, 29th, and on the outside of him, the last person to take times, 02 James Wilkins. At the end of the field tonight, Ron McMahon, Sean Dower, Joel Wood, David Parks, Carl Jones, and Cecil Jackson all electing not to take times, and a couple of them not even gridding up here for the start. But it looks like we'll have 1 to green this time by, as these drivers are side by side getting eager to go.
Working their way down the back straightaway, half a lap from going green here again. 150 laps around the half mile of Bristol Motor Speedway here tonight. Depending on how well the race goes, it can be a fairly quick event, or it could be fairly lengthy depending on how many cautions do occur. It's just a matter of how the pace of the race goes. Here as they work their way off of turn number 4, the pace car ducks down onto pit road, and James Brown has control of the field. He brings them to the front straightaway. Green flag is out, and we are underway at Bristol.
Top 3 try to single file out as they go into turns 1 and 2. You see the 000 James Brown working the high side. 99 of Garrett Denton with a run down the backstretch, trying to make the inside line work here early, but hits the apron a little bit and looks like he might slide up.
Can't get it done off of turn 4. James Brown leads that lap and now has the advantage heading into turn 1 off of turn 2. Denton falls back and clears him to settle back in second place and rides it out here for a little bit. Now just behind them, the 39 machine. But Chase Caber looks to the inside of Everett Lane. He hits the wall and problems.
Yeah, it just got squeezed down by Everett Lane, causing that wreck, sending a bunch of people into the wall. Caution's going to come out for the first time tonight. Definitely an error there on Everett Lane's part, pinching him down all the way onto that front stretch. Poor Chase Caber, nothing he could do at that point.
No, not at all. There, Matt is just an innocent victim there for the 39 at Chase Caber trying to make the pass, and Everett making a mistake, slipping up into him. Looks like Everett had the worst of that, though. A couple other people involved. They saw the 78 head down pit road after some contact there, and I believe there are 1 or 2 other cars involved in this incident as well.
Yeah, these guys are going to try and sort out and figure out where their pit stops are on the front and back stretch. It looks like these guys are going to go to their backups, as this league always allows them to do. So they'll bring out a couple fresh cars here and hopefully make it all the way to the end. But good run there, not too bad, starting 4 or 5 laps for a field of 35 people here. It's definitely a great start for Bristol already.
Lots of side-by-side racing here. It's you mentioned earlier, Matt, that the top side is definitely the preferred line to be, but some of these guys will be able to make that inside line work. This track being progressively banked, the outside line having more banking, it's easier for these guys to keep their speed up, as you will probably see the majority of them run up top. But some of these guys will have to try to make an attempt down on the bottom to make the passes, seeing that a lot of guys are going to be up top. And depending on how well they can make that line work, some guys are going to be able to have that bottom line down pat and would be able to make it work better than the outside.
Definitely, and you'll have to be able to make both these lines work, especially coming up the lap traffic on a skinny track like this. If that lap traffic side by side, or even just can't do anything but run the top side, you've got to try and make any lane you can get into work.
And not only that, it's very, very important to try to be as patient as you can. Things move very, very quickly here at Bristol, with it being a very compact racetrack. It's hard to stay patient when you got a lot of cars out in front of you all over the place. But patience is definitely a key factor here in having success at this racetrack.
But history shows us some of these drivers here, they come back from these accidents, so don't count out people like Michael Johnson, Everett Lane. Because even though they're laps down at this point, which is easy to do here on pit road if you can't keep up pace, because I mean, we're doing pace laps in 47 seconds, Kyle, so definitely don't count these guys out, but they have to make sure they get their cars fixed quick and back out onto the track.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. These crews have to be on top of their game and no mistakes at all, especially if you find yourself in trouble. The pace laps are very, very quick here, and if you slip up on pit road, make a little mistake there trying to get your car back ready to go, could cost you a lap or two. And even though it's a short track, you do see a lot of cautions here at Bristol typically. There has been a past where Bristol does get some lengthy green flag runs in, and with the amount of people that are in this race tonight, as we're looking here, we have 35 drivers who took the green flag tonight. So with that many cars on the racetrack, it doesn't take long for these leaders to get to the rear end of the field and start lapping people, and that'll put people in other positions for the lucky dogs.
And definitely will happen. You'll see people fighting to be that last person on the lead lap. Lights off on the pace car though as they're coming down the back stretch. They'll be going through 3 and 4, double file, getting tightened up and getting ready to drop the green flag that James Brown will once again lead them to. But the real question, Kyle, this time is, will Garrett Denton get it done there on the high side on this restart?
He's got the preferred line, but James had a great restart the first time. He's going to get off to another great one this time. He's going to be able to clear Denton. Denton falls behind him and starts to ride behind. They got a great jump on 3rd and 4th behind us. They got about 10 car lengths to that 3rd place car, and we have another caution already.
Yeah, trying to find out who the trouble might have came with. It's looking like it possibly the 3 of Ron. Man.
And I saw a couple cars slowed from that previous incident. I saw the 29 and the 78 slow. I'm still trying to figure out what exactly happened there. It looked like there was a problem in turns 1 and 2 that brought up the yellow car getting spun around. Actually, I'm seeing, looks like the 7 car got turned around sideways in front of the field. I see him saving it though, but it must have been turned around. Caution flag to be necessary to come out.
Yeah, definitely turning him enough for the officials to award a caution flag to help out these drivers who did have to check up so much. So they're going to run another few pace laps around here. Probably won't see many guys pit, maybe the 7 coming down, but still these guys, track position is going to be so important here tonight, just like Garrett Denton struggling to gain 1 position. Even though it seems so obvious that he has a faster car, especially in the middle of the turns, over James Brown.
Absolutely, Matt. Track position is very, very key at a short track, and especially when you have a field as big as we do here tonight. As I mentioned under that last caution, 35 drivers taking the green flag here tonight. So that's quite a bit of racetrack filled up. And if you get caught up in the back, you gotta have a good car. As we've seen James Brown and Garrett Denton so far. You can have a good car, but if you have to come down pit road and make a pit stop, you can get set back into the down around 25th or so, and you got a lot of ground to make up. And even though you got a good car, that doesn't really account for everybody else out there. You might have to deal with some guys that are slower, some guys that are damaged, and it can be a mess and a struggle to get back up to where you want. So these guys really haven't had a ton of green flag laps yet, so the tires probably aren't terrible. So there really is no need for them to come down under caution here to get a pit stop yet. Running around caution laps, it doesn't burn off as much fuel. So until we get some more laps, and I wouldn't see these guys down for a while.
Yeah, so definitely not expecting these guys to come down for a while. These late models, I mean, they hold more fuel than our regular stock cars here. They believe they still use the 22-gallon gas tank, Kyle. So they probably can actually go the whole way here on gas, because pretty much 17 gallons gets you 100 laps.
Yeah, we could possibly see them not have to take fuel at all. And it might be an easy night for the gasmen here tonight. But either way, these guys are definitely going to have to make pit stops for tires. Bristol chews up the tires very, very easy, and longer into runs when those tires get worn away, it becomes a struggle for these guys to hang on to the race cars and keep them going the way they want to. Especially those guys running up towards the top, they make a little bit of a mistake, or they push it into the corner a little too hard on those worn tires. They'll get up and slap that wall. Yeah, I mean, it helps a little bit that they're closer, not a hard impact. But it's still not where you want to be.
Alright, it looks like admin's awarding a few penalties here at the back of the field, not merging correctly and just trying to get them lined up as they'll come to the green flag this time by. Garrett Denton just keeps getting these shots with the preferred line as the pace car pulls off, and they'll be tightening up. Looks like James Brown laid back a little bit. Denton beats him to the line, but sometimes this lead we've seen as long as they waited long enough that the penalty will not arise. But James Brown quickly fighting back there on the inside as they come down the backstretch.
Side by side, Brown washes up a little bit there, makes a little bit of contact with the left rear corner panel of Garrett Denton. Denton and Brown are able to hang on, and we stay green. Now Denton's going to clear at the top of turn number 1. The 20 car, David Wenk, he has moved his way up to 3rd place, and now charges on the outside to the number 00 of James Brown to try to take that spot, and tries to bring the 07 of Gary Bauer along with him. Oh, and now the 20 gets spun into the inside wall hard with James Brown. Caution not yet out, I don't believe. I don't know how, though.
It looks like they were off the track far enough. Officials didn't award the yellow.
Now the caution is out.
The caution comes out as Dave Wink and James Brown try and pull back out on the track in front of some traffic here. So pace car coming out, taking out 2 big boys in this race, the fastest ones all night in qualifying and practice. But it looks like that's just been the story, as he got a little bit loose, went up, collected the 20 of David Wink, and just got connected down together into that inside wall.
Yeah, that definitely looks to be the story there, Matt. Just a tiny little mistake by the 00 James Brown, and now he and the 20 are going to have to go to the rear of the field, get their damages fixed, and we were just talking about how important track position is. They'll have to work their way all the way through the field to try to get back up to where they were before.
So already starting off the night bad for a couple of these guys. They will have to restart at the end of the field when they come to the green, as that's one rule here with Cora. Eventually, I believe after they cause 3 yellows, they're asked to park it, but most people don't have enough car at the end of that anyways, so they end up parking. But out front, Garrett Denton, 2nd, Gary Bauer, 3rd, Michael Churchma, 4th, Jay Anderson, 5th, Alan Larson. So Alan Larson cracking into the top 5 after his poor qualifying efforts earlier on in the evening. But we're going to step away real quick after these 3 quick yellows, and we'll be right back here with the Cora Sunday Money series. Don't go away.
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4, and the checkered flag, he wins his first.
Inside SimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Back here, Bristol Motor Speedway, getting ready to go green next time by. It looks like they're just having a little bit of trouble getting, and they delayed it once again. They're having a little bit of trouble getting these guys back out here after repairing all that damage and lining them up right. Let me go back and look. It looks like Christopher Mark was your lucky dog around the pace car this time by. And they also gave Ron McMahon a lap back due to some complications. But these drivers anxious to get going again as Garrett Denton finally grabbing the lead before that last yellow. And probably putting a little bit of frustration into that 00 James Brown, who's now found himself a lap down after driving it a little too hard and having a really loose car coming off the turns.
Yeah, Matt, a small mistake by James now cost him huge. He was running in the lead, and now he finds himself a lap down and way deep out in the pack right now. He is currently running in the 33rd spot, so he has a lot of ground to make up if he wants to get that lead back. Fortunately, we're only on lap 25 right now, but there's still 32 other cars out on that racetrack that he needs to pass in order to get that lead. And I don't care how you look at it, Matt, that's not going to be easy for him.
32 other cars, twice if you think about it, because he is a lap down. So gotta hope to stay in a lucky dog position, which he's not currently, and he's got to pass a few guys and have a caution come out to really help him. Other than that, I'd have to say his night is going to be very difficult.
Green flag is back out, and Garrett Denton gets off to a great restart as he opens up a huge lead, almost half a second off of Gary Bauer right off the get-go. And Garrett Denton starting to check out here from Gary Bauer. Bauer holding that second position over Michael Jerdsma, who's worked his way up to the third spot from starting further back into the field. He started 14th in tonight's event, and he now currently sits in third here on lap number 27 and closing in on the 07.
A stack of cars behind Larson in the 6th place position as the 35 is getting bumped by the 69 of Dale Somali back here in the field. And caution is out. I believe I saw a car sideways through 3 and 4 as they were coming through.
Looks like we got the number 10 machine that is Barry Winburn, and the 23 machine that is David Williams. They were parked out on the back stretch as the leaders went on by. Throwing the replay back right now. Looks like it happened up towards the 23's end, and the 10 kind of came involved in it. Looks like it happened in turns 1 and 2. The 23, actually no, it was up in front of that. Looks like the 14 had some problems. The 23 got involved, as well as the 48 and the 10.
Yeah, trying to pull up what might have exactly happened with the 14. And it looks like it truly all starts with number 2, Mark Jackson, diving out in there. Gets a little loose, slides up into the 14, and puts him in the wall, collecting the rest of these guys, Kyle. So, once again, a bunch of guys here. No repeat people in these accidents yet, but still trying to figure out these setups. And that's another thing. The high line is a lot more stable trying to get through these turns than that low line. When you got to check up that extra bit, it just tries to send the rear end of the car right around.
Absolutely, man. When these guys are running very fast times around here. These guys can almost hit these turns flat out, and I think they only have to let off the gas just a little bit, if any at all. So these guys are putting a lot of speed into these turns, and one little wiggle there can really set your car up off balance and upset, as we saw there with the 2 car, and it just makes for a very nasty ending when that does happen.
And setting up that nasty ending is exactly what we saw there. These guys are going to come down, fix it up. Looks like Dallas Markle, or excuse me, he was involved in that accident actually. So, let's see. Everett D. Lane probably going to be your lucky dog when they wind this all out. Looking through the list of names, people involved, people not. Michael Johnson actually being shown ahead of Everett Lane. So possibility there that he's going to be your lucky dog as they come down to the green flag.
That would be a nice break for him to be able to get a lap back and start to try to compete here and get some spots back.
One thing to talk about, though, I saw under the last green flag run, though, is Dale Somali backed up behind Alan Larson with 35 Nathan Sedlak. All of them were bumping through the turns, pretty much bump drafting down these straightaways, and then being able to hold it on to that shows really like the true effort of a champion, Dale Somali, who's now won in this league twice. Under caution here, 78 just got rear-ended by the 1, who ended up getting rear-ended by the 29, so a pile up here, kind of like playing stop and go on the backstretch, not working out for these drivers.
You know, this track being as tight as it is, especially under pacing here, you don't have a lot of room. When something happens up in front of you, it can be hard to avoid it. As we just saw there, a couple cars receiving some damage under yellow here. So hopefully it's not too bad for these guys and they can continue on. If not, they'll have to bring their cars down here under the yellow and try to get it fixed. Fortunately, they have it under the yellow, but still a bit of an issue for them.
Yeah. And I mean, if we go to our really blown up view here in scenic, we can almost see that these cars almost wrap themselves nose to tail all the way around the track with the amount of drivers we have out here tonight. Like I said, 35 cars starting in the field, 24 left on the lead lap after all these accidents. Sean Dower being the last car there down on pit road for the moment here, getting some fresh tires, it looks like, to try and make some passes towards the front.
Now that these guys have gotten an extra lap here to set things up, hopefully we are nope. As I say that, they hold off the caution again to try to get these guys ordered back up. It's tough here at this short track with running pace laps as quick as they do. Trying to get this many cars lined up in order, it can be a struggle here. And they're taking a couple extra laps to make sure the order is correct and that nobody's getting an advantage or disadvantage over the field, and to make sure that everything is okay so we can get back racing and in the correct spots.
Battling looseness, some battling tightness here is that we've now got 34 laps in the book, coming to lap 35, where hopefully they'll end up taking the green flag at the end of. These guys should have an amazing night out here. You got people like Dallas Markle, Dale Somali trying to work their way up through the field with not such a great qualifying effort, meaning that this track probably isn't more of the ones that we see them doing great at, Kyle. They like those 2.5 mile super speedways, nose to tail driving, or for Dale Somali, every track I've seen him at, if it's a 1.5 oval, put him in anything, he's going to win it.
Yeah, he definitely seems to be in favor of those tracks over this one here tonight. Unfortunately, there's no way of avoiding this track here, and things have been quite interesting for quite a few of these guys so far. We currently have 24 of the 35 cars on the lead lap. Quite a few cars one lap down, and a couple 2 or more laps down. So you know, it's just part of short track racing. Unfortunately, you know, some guys are good at it, some guys aren't. But everybody's got to be there, and everybody has to run it if you want a shot at this championship.
All right, guys. So we are watching the Mark Montanari Setup Analyzer Bristol 150 with Cora Championship Online Racing Association. This is a setup analyzer. It's like a crew chief for anybody. All you do is you go to setupanalyzer.com. Mark Montanari's Sim Racing Setup Analyzer. It lets you test the car, enter your data, and give you real recommendations to make changes. You can join the ranks of the fastest guys out here like Dale Somali or Dallas Markle on any track and pretty much become equal with them just to help with this one setup analyzer. If you've got the skills to race the car, he can help you put the setup it takes to win. So definitely go check that guy out. Setupanalyzer.com. It's Mark Montanari's Setup Sim Racing Setup Analyzer.
Hopefully here, Matt, we're going to be getting ready to go green flag. I don't believe they pushed the start off this time, as it looks like, yep, the pace car is going to duck down onto pit road and leave the field into the hands of Garrett Denton. He hits the gas, and we're green flag racing once again at Bristol.
Garrett Denton out to another great start, but Michael Churchma making a move on Gary Bauer as they go into 1 and 2, moves them up the track, makes the pass. Right behind them, Jay Anderson leading that pack. Alan Larson quickly slipping back to 7th place. And it looks like they're trying to split him 3 wide with the 04 and the 15 as they go into 3 and 4.
75 machine, Daniel Murphy using the outside to his advantage. He gets around the 24 of Alan Larson and moves himself into the 6th spot. Single file now amongst those guys, but just in front of him side by side for the 5th spot, the 18 machine, losing that spot to the 35 of Nathan Sedlak. Jay Anderson now back to 5th place, and now that 75 at Dale Murphy starting to close in and try to get the spot on the 18.
Nicholas Doucette entering the top 10 as some drivers slipping back. Looking to the inside of Dale Smalley, can't get any room there as Smalley's working his way around the 04. Galen Goodman going to 3 and 4, trying to follow him is the 51 of Nicholas Doucette. Right behind him, the 33, Travis Brown, working his way by Joe Vines, but Joe Vines quickly battling back in there on the inside, able to hold on to that position.
We talked about some of these guys going to have to be using that inside line, and right now Joe Vine's one of those guys, and he's actually looking pretty strong doing it. Right now he's trying to take that spot from the 33. He's staying quite even with him. He had the advantage a couple times, but now that 33 is starting to power by. But either way, that 03 Joe Vines, he's looking very, very strong at the bottom. He's actually just now, yes, he clears the 33 just as the caution comes out once again here on lap 43.
Caution's going to be towards the back of the field here as we are watching midfield and didn't see them go by. And it looks like it might actually be the 10 once again into the outside wall here, just sitting up there.
The 10 machine, the 23 machine spun around here in turn number 1 once again. They were involved in our most recent caution before this, and they find themselves involved once again. Looks like just before that, the 00 put the 27 in the wall there. And then something happened there with the 7 machine. He got up into the wall, hit the 23, and that spun him around. The 00, James Brown, got involved again, and then a couple other cars having to slow up and getting involved in it just a little bit. The leaders actually had to come to a stop in turn 1 to avoid hitting that 23. But a couple more guys getting taken out here, and it's hard to try to avoid a wreck when it happens here at Bristol with a lot of cars and it being so narrow and hard, not a lot of room to avoid stuff. It can be an issue trying to avoid people.
Yeah, definitely gonna be an issue trying to avoid people. It's been a rough night for pole sitter James Brown. Already down a lap, gonna have to come down pit again and get that damage all fixed up. You got people like Dallas Markle, a big name, struggling here tonight, trying to get by all these cautions. But to be back-to-back in wrecks for the first time tonight that we've seen from many of these guys, it's just starting to weed out who can race clean here on such a short track. And as we get down to less people here on the lead lap, we're going to see more green flag racing going longer and longer.
Yeah, hopefully. I know some of these guys up front are kind of wanting that chance to run green flag, see what their cars really have. It's kind of hard when a lot of these laps are being run under caution. That was a decent run there. We got a little bit more green flag racing in, but still a little bit shorter than some people would like to see, I'm sure.
Ted loves to say it here, guys, and seeing he's not around, I'll say it for you. Cautions breed cautions, especially here at Bristol Speedway. So if these guys get on a run, it's going to be one of those miracles, and once it comes to an end, we're going to have to expect the same as cautions breed cautions. Towards the end of this race, like we said, it's hard to make passes, and these guys are not going to have to use the lanes here on the track. They're going to have to make their own by bumping each other out of the way to get around.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. And with being rough and aggressive like that, bumping people around, some people can take bumps harder than others, and some you tie up them a little bit and they go around. So it's very hard to get around people here without being aggressive. But that's just the nature of short track racing. Sometimes you got to be a little bit aggressive and up on the wheel to try to move your competitors around a little bit to get around them. If they're holding you up, especially when you got you're running in a pack too wide and you got cars all around you and you feel like you're faster and getting held up and there's nowhere else to go. You'll see some people using the bumper a little bit to try to move some people around.
Dallas Markle getting the wave around here, or the lucky dog, to become the last person on the lead lap in 23rd position. A little bit of a shakeup happened in your top 5 under that last restart. Garrett Denton first, Michael Churchman second, Bauer third, Nathan Sedlak fourth, Jay Anderson fifth, and really weaving out Alan Larson, who struggled. I don't even see him out on this list. He pit, but pace cars down. Garrett Denton out to another terrific start as he has been all night long. Churchma getting trapped up on the high side by the 07 of Gary Bauer as they head to turn 2. They throw a caution out here. It looks like maybe not everybody was lined up quite yet, so bringing out the pace car, they'll line these guys up again for a little bit. And So as they get the field figured out, and these guys will all stay out on track to do that, we're going to step away for another commercial break. So we'll be right back here with the Cora Championship Online Racing Association Setup Analyzer Bristol 150.
Join 5,000 plus other listeners where you can hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETV live sports radio, even all that unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks. HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.
Alright, back live here at Bristol. It's Matt Close here, and alongside me, Kyle Young. We got Laura Lusson out there pushing the buttons here with ETVLIVE LSR TV, guys. So, out front, still waiting to go green. It looks like pace car lights are off, but they might throw those on as they've been having trouble getting lined up here tonight. Staying single file for right now, it looks like usually when they begin side by side.
Yeah, man, these guys just struggling to get in order here. There's a lot of them out there. Like I said, 35 drivers took the green flag and are out there racing here tonight. And on a half-mile oval, it can be difficult to get everybody lengthened up and straightened up the way that they should be in these short amount of cautions. You know, we take these caution laps very, very quickly, running about 40-second caution laps. The caution periods go by fast when we have a lot of cars getting down and off the pit road, trying to give people lucky dogs and penalize the people who need to be penalized if there are any that need to be penalized. It can be a little bit confusing.
Yeah, definitely a little confusing. Is like I said, they put the lights back out down there. We'll go the extra lap. These guys have to be getting anxious under these cautions, but they keep thinking like, "Oh, we're going green finally," but they keep delaying this. So these guys definitely getting a little worked up under yellow. So not helping their nerves as much as it is already that they have to worry about the guy underneath them getting loose or themselves sliding up into the wall.
Yeah, absolutely there, Matt. I mean, we're just under 100 laps to go, and these guys, they want to go. They want to get racing and figure out what they can have on their competition. But right now, we are going green this time. Pace car is down. Garrett Denton gets off to another great start over Michael Churchma, and we are off once again. Denton gets off to a great start. He's opened up about a 5-car length gap as they head into turn number 3.
75, Daniel Murphy getting really loose coming off of turn 2, but completing the pass over the 18 of Jay Anderson. Gary Bauer will be his next target, as Gary Bauer running a little bit of a lower line. James Brown down there on the apron will be losing another lap. Heavy damage on that car. Smalley trying to work his way up towards the top 5 as he's looking for every way possible around the 18 of Jay Anderson. Looking back through the field though, about a battle for 10th place. You've got Vines down low, you got 30 of Ross Cato on the outside. But sliding around, it looks like he's having a little bit of a trouble wheeling that car around the high side.
Little sideways there for Ross Cato. He's going to lose that battle. And now the 03, Joe Vine's going to go side by side with Galen Gildman in turn number 3. Looks like he's going to take that spot down to the bottom. And right now, at least for what I've seen, Matt, that 03 machine at Joe Vines, he has been very, very strong on the bottom side. Caution is out once again, though.
Trying to search for where the caution is going to be here out on the track with these guys.
Looks like he off of turn number 2, the 66 machine of Sean Dower. Looks like he just got loose all on his own and spun down into the inside wall. Tough break for him. He was running in the 20th spot at the time. Loops it around, makes contact with the inside wall, and that'll bring out the caution here on lap number 57.
Yeah. Gets that car spun around and going. He'll get that damage fixed. It looks like he will end up losing a lap, though, to the leaders before he gets going again. So tough break. He'll have to catch the lucky dog at some point tonight. But looking out front, oh, my scoreboard's a little messed up. So Garrett Denton's still holding the lead. Churchma to be second. As the leaders checked up, the scoreboard got a little messed up on us. So we're going to wait a lap before we tell you where people are to get that figured out.
Well, Matt, I can give you an update there on the 99. Garrett Denton. Denton pulls out of the lead, and he has brought his number 99 machine down pit road. A 4-tire stop for that 99, getting that out of the way here on lap number 60. So he will go to the back of the field, but has fresh tires. Might be a bit of a scary move, as we've seen the majority of our accidents towards the rear of the field. But Garrett felt it was time for new rubber, so he went down and got that. And he's back out onto the track, getting ready to see what he's got here.
Yeah, we got Mark Jackson, David Williams, and Ron McMahon, all people on the lead lap and been competitive, not carrying too much damage on those vehicles, it would look like. Down here, taking 4 tires on the back stretch. 10 of Barry Wimburn still sitting down here on pit road, as he's been involved in multiple accidents trying to get that machine just competitive again to get going. He's 17 laps down right now.
Yeah, that's a tough break for that machine there. Unfortunately, it can sting when you get into multiple accidents here at Bristol with the when you get some damage. And a lot of these accidents, with as fast as these guys are going, they can do quite a bit of damage to these race cars. And with how fast-paced things go here, you can find yourself many laps down within the blink of an eye even. And unfortunately for that number 10 machine of Barry Winburn, he is 18 laps down right now and virtually out of any chance of having a good day here. So the short track at Bristol, unfortunately, not the type of race that he was looking to have here tonight.
Yeah, what I find funny, though, is Dale Somali, Nicholas Doucette, both guys have been trying to get into the top 5 all night, but have not been able to touch it. They've always come up one car short. Right now, them sitting 6th and 7th, it's going to have a great chance for them to try and get into that top 5, but it seems like one person goes by them every time they're about to do it. So let's see if they can't finally get that done here on this restart.
So after a couple pit stops here for some of these leaders, going through the lineup here, Michael Churchman now the leader. His number 88 machine, Nathan Sedlak in the 35 is second, with Gary Bauer, Daniel Murphy, and Jay Anderson, your top 5 here, getting ready for the restart. And so far, so good. Looks like we're going to go this time by.
Lap 63, coming to lap 64, as the pace car pulls off, and we wait for the green flag to be dropped. Churchma off to a not so great start, as we've seen many tonight. 35 might be able to hold that high side coming down the backstretch, but 07 of Gary Bauer working by him on the inside with a strong setup as they go down to 3 and 4. Bauer looking to complete that pass, but the 35 of Sedlick says no.
Side by side for the second spots, allowing Churchman to kind of run away from it a little bit. The 35 Sedlick thought he had it clear there, but pushed it up a little bit too high in the 07. Now going to try and take it once again, shoves it in there, and he will clear the 35 for that second spot. And now Gary Bauer going to look to try to run down our leader, Michael Churchma.
51, Nicholas Doucette to the high side, looking to crack the top 5, slides up too much. 18 perfectly clear all the way through the turn. It's the 18 loving that middle lane here. 51 just keeps sliding up too high. Dale Somali looking at that opening, coming down to the inside. Trying a new lane, Nicholas Doucette, as he goes down to the inside of the 18. He's going to make it work, but hits the apron and almost messes up his entire night, holds on to it.
High side, low side, doesn't matter for Nick Doucette. He wants that spot on the 18, and unfortunately now that's allowing Dale Smalley to close right on in, and as well as the 03 of Joe Vines. Joe still using that inside line. He's been looking strong down there all night, and now he's battling Dale Smalley for the 7th spot using it right now. Looks like he might have it to his advantage for right now, holding off Smalley, excuse me, trying to take that spot. He's got the advantage, seeing if he can clear here in turn number 3. He does clear, and he will take that spot away from Dale Smalley.
Reminds me of that guy I was talking about. As Dale Smalley and Nick get so close to reaching the top 5, somebody always has to put that extra car in between them. So there goes Joe as he's trying to beat that extra car and work his own way into the top 5. But 18 catching the 75 of Daniel Murphy under this green flag run, as they've all stacked up right behind Churchma, who's currently leading, just trying to currently hold off the 07.
Nick Doucette still looking to try to get around that 18 machine, peaked high in 3 and 4, didn't think he could get it done, so drops back now in turn number 1 and gives it a shot again, but that 18 is able to stick it down to the bottom fairly well on the center off, and he's able to beat that 51. The 51 trying, so oh wow, that was close there, but the 7 machine lap down car almost got in their way there. Fortunately, they were able to avoid him and stay clean and green, and now we got problems. Michael Churchma's around.
Churchma around collecting another Storm Motorsports teammate there, it looks like, coming out of the turn as he's sitting up high by the wall. But 07 of Gary Bauer just gets up into him a little bit when they come into the exit of the turn. Spins him around right up there into the middle of traffic. So collecting a few guys here, trying to quite figure out who that car number is.
Yeah, that was a tough break there from Michael Churchman. You said took out a couple of his teammates there. Not only did he take out his teammates, but his teammate knocked him over onto his lid as he did a quick little flip there. So a tough break for that number 88 machine. He was looking very, very strong, and unfortunately now he's going to have to go to the back of the pack. Just a tough incident. Now actually watching him pull around, he got into the door of the 18, and the 75 got into the back of him a little bit there. So a crazy crash right there. Churchman driving away though, but not what he wanted to see after being the leader. Oh, actually, I just watched the replay. He actually went up and he turned the 51 of Nick Doucette under yellow.
Turning the... Yeah, just confirmation. He took out number 20 David Lincoln, too, Jay Anderson, both people of the Storm Motorsports. But let's go check out what happened under yellow, Kyle.
I'm just going to assume that car was just a little bit too tore up for him to handle. He got up there and turned that 51 car around. Unfortunately, he backed up into another vehicle. I didn't quite see who it was, but that 51 machine now has some damage to that right rear corner. It was the 79 machine of Joel Wood that got into the back of the 51 of Doucette. So a tough break for Doucette. Doesn't look like he's going to come down and pit, though. He's going to kind of tough it out and see what happens. But that's a shame.
Yeah, definitely a shame to see that happen to such a young kid that's always out here working really hard to win these races. It's always proven that he's meant to be here. Gary Bauer, though, your new leader after such an incident, Sedlick still hasn't pit this race alongside with Jay Anderson. Nick Doucette did break that top 5, though, so maybe that's why he doesn't want to pit finally there, as he's been working his way so hard to try and finally get that achievement.
Yeah, he's been working very, very hard throughout this race, trying to move himself up and starting to do that very, very well throughout this race. Hopefully he can continue to do that. He's been looking strong. I wouldn't doubt if he can move up even further.
Alright guys, as we're under caution here, just to list a few people that we couldn't do ETV Live without. We got Gary Mercer Trucking. Dude, if your pickup truck is too small for the load, get a real truck to haul it. Sponsoring drivers in several iRacing official series, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated provides long and short haul options for hauling furniture, perishables, even refrigerated products, and a whole lot more. With storage facilities in the US, Canada, CTPAT approved, and fast express drivers, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the best choice to haul your load. Give the old pickup a rest. Call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated at 800-668-2980. That's 800-668-2980. Or you can just go check out them at gmercer.com. gmercer.com. Also helping us out tonight, guys, is Derek Spears Designs, sponsoring in part with Inside Sim Racing TV. Derek Spears designs manufactures top-shelf simulation racing components such as pedals, shifters, button boxes, and more. Reasonably priced items, this is the kind of gear a champion sim driver needs. Bulletproof and boot stomping strong. You can see his gear at DerekSpearsDesigns.com. DerekSpearsDesigns.com.
Green flag back out once again. Gary Bauer, a couple car links over the 35. Nathan Sedlick starting to close in just a little bit, trying to take that lead away and use that top side. He's got a little bit higher run than the 07 does, but right now the caution is out once again on lap number 80.
Quick caution here as we're looking around the field trying to figure out who is actually around and where the smoke's coming from. It looks like it
Actually, Matt,
60s.
I'm seeing that I think it was an administrative thrown caution there. Not too sure what caused that, but I'm hearing that the race officials did not enjoy something out on the racing surface, so they threw the caution flag and to get things relined up in the correct order.
It looks like 48 is being thrown, or excuse me, cleared a black flag, so an incident definitely coming in under that restart that hurt some of these drivers. Officials watching out for every move that's going out here on the track. Hearing some drivers getting DQ'd because of this restart, so trying to get all that figured out here, and the admin's doing the best that they can to keep things going clean.
Lots of chaos here for these race officials trying to get things worked out the way that they should be this short track, throwing them through a bit of a loop that I'm sure that they were not expecting to have to deal with here tonight. I was actually now looking at the 35 machine, Nathan Sedlick working his way down pit road. He has decided that it is time for him to get a new set of tires, and he will do that under this yellow here on lap number 82.
Downward side of things, under 75 laps to go here. Lap 83. Gary Bauer, Nick Doucette, Jay Anderson, Dale Smalley, Chase Cabre lining up your top 5. So these drivers moving up in the world, and a few drivers in the back falling down in the world, but that's okay. They have time to work their way up still. Starting with 35 cars tonight. We got 18 left here on the lead lap after the current lucky dog. So trying to get things figured out. A few of these drivers getting angry and tempers starting to flare already. So definitely towards the end of this race, the admin's going to have to watch out for some retaliation.
And that's something that you see here on the short tracks here at Bristol. You know, when you get 35 drivers onto a track that's half a mile and takes about 14 seconds for these guys to get around, you know, people are going to get into each other and things are going to happen. It's just how those drivers depend on, or determine on how they react to some situations will determine how well that they can get through this race. But it's been quite frustrating for some of these guys, and just not the way that they would have liked to deal with things.
We're going to try and get word from admins, as it looks like we've gone red flag almost. We are currently red flag here on the track. Drivers stopped, so I'm going to step away for a minute and try and figure out what we've got going on.
Just trying to figure things out here. It's been a very crazy night trying to get drivers lined up in order the way that it should be. Unfortunately, not what these guys would have liked to have seen, but they're trying to do the best that they can to get things ordered up the right way.
Alright, back here and just from race officials, it looks like we have a mix-up lineup. As these cars get rolling again, they're all going to get sorted out hopefully.
Looks like things are starting to get a little bit under control here. Looks like the leaders are currently on lap number 86, so we've got about 69 laps to go, I believe. These guys don't have a lot of time, so I'm sure they're hoping that they can get things restacked up and getting going the right way, so that way they can get back to racing. I know Nick Doucette is probably one of those guys. He's been working up through the field very, very well tonight and is currently sitting in second place.
Yeah. So these drivers want to get lined up right. Some new faces in the field. I'm just looking here. Gallon Goodman's the new guy that I haven't seen too often here. Probably coming in this season. Christopher Mark, strong showing tonight. Not one of our usual guys. This is along with looks like Chase Cora. He's been here a few times, but not too much showing himself here in the main events. So good night for most of these guys here that don't make it out to the main event as much. Trying to gain some points.
It's always a good thing to see some new drivers being involved in some of these races and being competitive, getting lots of competition here in the Cora Sunday Money Series. And when we have been racing, it's been very competitive and very strong. Quite a few guys up front looking very fast and looking to have a shot at this thing. Right now, Gary Bauer currently leading with Jay Anderson second, Nick Doucette third, Dale Smalley fourth, and Joe Vines in fifth.
It was looking like a great night, points night for Churchma though, until that wreck he had not too long ago. Same thing with Everett Lane and Garrett Denton, all having great points. Just to check up on Garrett Denton after his pit and 4 tires, it looks like he might be a lap down at this point. I'm trying to search for that car number. Yeah, Garrett Denton showing 2 laps down, so caught up in some traffic after he chose to pit and get those tires, so definitely more a hurt move than a golden move in the middle of the race.
Yeah, it's a tough break for Garrett. Hopefully they get things sorted out here to where everybody's all right in back their orders, right positions, right spots and everything. And hopefully we can get this thing going again and get under a nice competitive race.
Long cautions here tonight as they're on lap 90. Officials doing the best they can. We got to give props to people who put this stuff together and make them run. Alan Larson, who helps us coordinate here at night. We got CEO. Excuse me, I'm sorry. You got CEO James Brown, COO Kevin McCarthy, just trying to get all this stuff figured out. These guys doing an amazing job week in and week out, figuring out. Gordon Berkey, Vice President. All these cars out on the track and trying to work themselves through the field and everybody else getting them where they are. So Kyle couldn't do these weekends without them.
Lots of people help making this Sunday Money Series possible, and you know, it's been a good one to watch so far when these guys have been green flag racing. You know, it's just a product of short track racing when things get out of hand, you know, with accidents, and you know, we got a lot of people here. You know, I'm sure these guys weren't expecting this to be an issue, but unfortunately it has been, and these guys are working their butts off to get everything correct. Looks like they have, and now we are green flag racing once again here, completing lap number 91 and on to lap 92 right now.
Nick Doucette with a great restart there, able to keep up with Paul as they go into turns 1 and 2, just a 1-car separation. Right behind them, Jay Anderson having to deal with Dale Somali on the outside, but Jay's been showing strong on the inside. We'll see if he can hold on to that position. It looks like the 39 and Chase Cabret trying to work his way around with whoever's going to make the pass first. He keeps swinging in and out.
Smalley makes the pass, and Anderson, now it's Caber's turn in the 39 to try to follow through. He's got the advantage, has the spot at the line. Can he clear? Yes, he does. Chase Caber clears into the 4th position. Now he's going to come on down. Can't quite do it, though. Caution is out again.
Caution out again. This is 67 slow on the apron. We're in 33 and 59. 59 parked up there by the wall. He's going to call out for the tow truck. 33 just goes up into him, gets him loose, and collects the 75. So another rough accident for the 75, who's already had some troubles here tonight. And it looks like that might end the night for the 59 of James Thorndike as he's chilling out there by the wall.
Yeah, that's a tough break. That 75 machine, Daniel Murphy, he was looking strong earlier on in this race, but got caught up in a previous caution. Now caught up in this one a little bit as he currently sits in the 12th spot. So he's got some work to do to get back up there. I'm not too sure about you though, Matt, but even though we've gotten a lot of these cautions, laps are ticking down. I don't know if I'd be too upset with if I was Gary Bauer right now. He's currently sitting in the lead. He got 54 laps to go when they hit the line right now. These caution laps are just fewer green flag laps for anybody else to be able to pass him.
No, definitely Gary Bauer is not minding this one at all. I mean, I bet he wishes these laps would click off a little bit faster so he could just hold on to the trophy and the cash for tonight as they reach the end. But for him, just sitting in a very comfortable position, being able to click off these restarts and get that advantage down there on to turn one. So definitely he's not worrying. The guy that really wants to see this go green flag, Dale Smalley, Nick Doucette, both of them think that they've got the cars to win as they've been trying to race everybody so hard all night long, but doing it clean. They haven't really wrecked anybody or been involved in any accident.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of these guys have been able to stay clean, and it proves how important it is to keep your nose clean. You know, we saw Nick Doucette. He was back there quite a bit. You know, he had to work his way through traffic here tonight. He started in the 11th position, and currently he is running second right now. So he's been able to work through the field, stay clean, and now he's got a shot to contend at this lead and possibly contend for the win too.
I'm looking for Nathan Sedlak. This is back in 12th place. Currently sitting 12th in points, 180 points out of the lead, but only 9 points inside the chase. Jay Anderson and Bruce Bichard closely behind him. Even though we're only 2 races into this season, definitely these guys are trying to get in quick.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. Each and every single race counts, no matter how early in the season it is. You know, one bad run can hurt you from making that chase into the championship. So you want to make sure that you have your best foot forward each and every week, and you are absolutely driving your butt off to try to get the best points position that you possibly can and to have a shot at the championship. Because if you don't make that chase, you don't have a shot at the championship. So you just have to have good runs each and every single week. And if you do have a bad run, you hope that it's not as bad, or the people running your points don't have good nights either.
Yeah, but definitely gotta hope for that. They are running the chase this year, so Dale Smalley's lead at some point is just gonna get wiped out here. That he's grown already, but definitely just trying to lock himself into the chase early.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with locking yourself in early. It's a nice comfort to know that you'll be in the championship chase earlier on. You know, you don't have to worry so much about how good or bad your runs are. Obviously, you still want to finish as well as you can to be able to, you know, get good points, and if you win, help yourself in the chase. But it's always a comforting feeling to know that when you get down towards those later races that you're already in, that you can afford to have a bad race or two if it happens.
Church will wave back onto the lead lap. His caution is thrown one more time to go get these sorted out. Lights back on. They'll go off again once they reach the stripe and hopefully going green on lap 102.
Less than 50 laps to go now in this event. These guys have been out on track for about an hour. So we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here, starting to wind down this race, getting ready to call it here very soon. These guys are getting ready to go green. Looks like everything's in order for right now, and we should be able to go green when we hit the start-finish line this time by.
we are hearing we've been under caution for 65 laps now once they cross the stripe as the lights have come back on again. Having trouble getting this sorted out, so over half this race has been run under yellow. So obviously these guys having trouble actually holding on to their cars and being able to keep it clean.
Yeah, Bristol being a bit of a pain for these guys. You know, it's a tough track to run, running this fast at a track this small with a lot of narrow passageways to race amongst people, and especially when you have a lot of drivers out on the track, it can be difficult. As it's been proved here tonight, not one of the better nights for this league, but you know, I've been a part of some of these other broadcasts with the Cora series, and they've been good ones. Unfortunately, tonight just a bit of a struggle, but everybody has their up and down nights every now and again, right? So pace car is off, the green flag is out now, and we are racing once again. Gary Bauer off to a great start. Dusek gonna follow him down on the bottom side. Chase Caber using that outside, and side by side for third with Dale Smalley.
Racing side by side for third is Nick Doucette trying to hold on to the second position. Chase on the outside don't make the move, but a hard pile up. It looks like in turns 3 and 4. Caution will be back out here on the Speedway. Cars still flipping out of 4. This is stacking up over half the field. This is really going to shake things up.
Massive crash off of turn number 4. Multiple cars involved. That's just a very massive crash. I'll have to go back to see what started it. I believe a couple cars, or at least one. I see the 00 went upside down in that event of that incident. That's a shame. Our pulse hitter goes upside down. Just a tough incident there. It's just another addition to a crazy night.
Right call starting out with the 18 into 3, but cars flipping down the front stretch, so many to try and figure out who all of them were. James Brown's actually the one that we see upside down doing some twirls, so continuing just a frustrating night for that man who was already 8 laps down, and definitely just going to try and work out what he can. But under this caution, as we've been here with you guys for a while, we're going to step away. Top 5, Gary Bauer, Paul Doucette, Dale Smalley, Chase Cabre, Jay Anderson. This is the Setup Analyzer 150 here at Bristol. So we'll be right back for your final 45 laps.
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines!
Back this time.
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4, and the checkered flag, he wins his first NASCAR iRacing.
Inside SimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Welcome back to the Bristol Motor Speedway here for the Cora Sunday Money Series. We just got another one of our restarts here. completing lap number 108. Gary Bauer clears into the lead, and now Chase Caber clears into second place over Nick Doucette, and Caber now sets his sights on leader Gary Bauer in the 07. 41 laps left to go in this race. Not a lot of time to get it done here, as these guys lapping about 14-second laps here. Chase Caber trying to run down Gary Bauer for the lead. He's using the inside, Bauer using the outside. He's closing in side by side now, nearly touch off of 4, but they hang on.
Smalley to the outside of Nick Doucette. Smalley already getting the advantage going into the turn, down into the backstretch, having that run. Looking to clear Nick and bring along the 29 of Christopher Mark with him.
Caution flag is out once again here on lap number 11. We have problems. I'm hearing possibly Michael Churchman involved again in another problem here off of turn number 4, looks like. Looks like as we pull up the replay, looks like the number 14 machine got turned and the 88 had nowhere to go, got into him. The 14 got into the 75, put him into the wall, and then the 88 getting into the 75 there, speeding up. So a couple cars getting turned around here on lap number 112, and that puts us under caution once again.
Yeah, 14 of Mark Montanari just diving and cutting himself across the nose of the 1, sliding back up into the 88. So definitely a hard wreck there, clipping the 75 into the wall. So rough night for a lot of these drivers. We've now seen them getting into multiple accidents. Drivers going to be quickly lining up the DQ and the pit stops here down on the garages. So people are going to start being parked for this as the officials are having it.
Yeah, we're starting to get down to the end of a frustrating night, and some penalties are going to be starting to give out here. Some more severe than others. We currently have 37 laps left in this event. I'm sure a lot of these guys are just wanting this thing to get done and over with. A lot of bent up sheet metal and race cars here tonight, and they're looking to finish this one up and get ready for next week.
Few guys off the track right now: David Williams, Barry Winburn, Colton Berkey, Mark Jackson, all packing up early, heading out for next week. David Wink also off track. Carl Jones down getting a little bit of his damage fixed, along with James Brown, Dale Gravel, Michael Johnson, Alan Larson, just all sitting down there on pit road trying to get this stuff fixed up for the night and gain as many points as possible.
Yeah, we talked about how important the points are, even as early into the season. It doesn't matter. Each race counts, and it's very, very important to get as many points as you possibly can. And those guys trying to get their cars back together so that way they can get out there and get some more points.
Completing lap 115 soon. Is looking for pace lights to go off again, but like we said, the officials keep turning them back on tonight on us. But a talk show that we have going on for you guys, Rewind, BS, and Back Talk Radio. You can join the Cowboy, JD Webb, Jimmy North, Evan Pasco Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. for an hour of a rewind, looking back at previous broadcast events, such as tonight, the drama topics, Too Hot to Touch, and the boys ramp it up in the BS and Back Talk segment with thoughts and opinions on some of the hot topics in the online racing arena, just all around iRacing. It's an all-new show, fun and entertaining. You have no rules, no BS. It's Rewind, BS, and Back Talk, 9 p.m. Tuesdays here on ETVLIVE Radio.
Looks like we were getting set to go, but something's still wrong with the lineup here. So they put the caution back out. And we'll try to get this thing back reordered here as we have less than 35 laps to go now.
Gary Bauer still hasn't pit tonight. Neither has Dale Smalley, Nick Doucette. Just loving these cautions, letting them pull back down and get those jumps on the restart over everybody. So the traffic really being the number one factor tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. With as many cars as we have, traffic is very, very huge. And how you control that traffic and how you get through it is very important. We've seen some guys get through it okay and work their way through the field without a problem, while others have had some problems, and it's hurt them here tonight. But you know, seen a lot of things happen here tonight. And these guys getting ready to start closing it down here. Lap 117 about to be completed here off this restart pace car down on pit road, and we're getting ready to go green.
Chase making sure he's all the way up to the rear bumper of that pace car to get the best chance he has at power on the restart. Bauer's still able to clear him as they go into the turns, cycling around in. Nick Doucette to the high side, not letting Smalley make that move into the preferred line, as Nick's going to try and probably clear him coming back here out of 4.
Nick Doucette trying to clear off a turn 4 like you said, and he does, and caution flag is out once again on lap number 119.
Lap 119 here, like we said, caution back out, looking around, trying to figure out what possibly could happen. And it looks like it might have been the 99 or just in front of them. Or, yes. Yeah, 99 getting stacked up behind the 79, just getting turned loose by the rear brake power in these cars and sliding up into the wall. He's going to collect probably a couple more guys here under caution. He just clips a couple. No damage to those ones as he's turned around and getting that thing back going. You can see the banking struggling to get that car pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, that's a tough break for Garrett. You know, we saw him leading tonight. He had a really strong car. But ever since he made that pit stop, got marred back in traffic, it's just been a hellacious night for him. He's set 2 laps down in the 21st spot right now. It's just a tough break for that 99 machine. I'm sure after his success and where he's at now, he's looking forward to getting this one done and over with and moving on to next week to try to redeem himself.
Alright, Kyle, we got Gary Bauer, our leader, up here in the booth with us. So, Gary, how's the night been? We know you haven't pit yet. You're kind of out there on old tires. What's your thoughts here?
Oh, I can make it easy. I was doing 100 lap runs and still running 16 seconds flat.
So over the course of these runs, is your car getting a little bit looser to handle or tighter on you?
I really hasn't. I don't think we've had a long enough green flag run yet to even warm the tires up.
Alright, we're hearing over 70 laps of this race have been under caution. For you, looking into these final laps, are you hoping for some more? Is it easy? It's pretty much easy leading for you, or are you trying to get green to go to the end quicker?
I'd like a green run the rest of the way, yes.
Alright, Gary, and if we do get that green run, most people prefer in the high line, some in the middle. Like, where are you liking it right now? Have you even had a chance to really figure that out?
Yeah, I'm gonna run in the middle the rest of the way as long as I have the room and the green flags to do it. I think the middle will work fine.
Alright, we hope to be able to talk to you at the end here, but anybody in the mid-race that's been helping you out a little bit that you want to thank while you got the chance?
Yeah, my teammates have been helping me back there with info on who's pitting, who's staying out.
Alright, Kyle, that's us with Gary Bauer, your current leader, and has been leading for a while out there on the tires he started with. So hopefully he's going to bring it all the way down to the end as we'll let him go back to talking with his teammates and his crew to figure it out for the Checkers.
Yeah, man, it looks like
and Jay. Sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead and finish.
He's gone.
Gary Bauer looking here to finish it up and win this thing. He's led quite a bit of the way here. I think he led since Garrett Denton had made his pit stop. But right now, looks like he's going to get the green flag with about 25 or less laps to go. So not a ton of time left. Hopefully he can hang on to get that win, but I don't know. He's got some very fierce competitors. All of the guys behind him have been looking really strong. Chase Caber's worked his way up through the field a little bit. Nick Doucette and Dale Smalley all have looked very, very fast. If they can get these green flag runs and get some more laps in, then they could possibly have a shot at Gary Bauer.
Yeah, we're gonna have that shot. But Gary Bauer himself even saying he doesn't like these yellow flags. He wants these guys to really run them and run green to the end. So he's willing to take that risk to say he's better and faster than these guys out here, and he's gonna take the checkers tonight.
Hoping he can stick true to his word. These caution flags, they kind of marred down the competitiveness. We've only had 5 lead changes here in tonight's event. But right now, Gary Bauer, I'm sure he doesn't mind that too much, as he's been out front for the majority of the second part of this race. He's just trying to hang on and trying to finish this one up.
You got the two really hungry guys, though, there in row 2 starting on this restart. Nick Doucette, Dale Smalley, can't stop talking about those guys as they really worked their way up courteously through this field. It looks like we got the 79 car. Not quite sure where he's supposed to be lined up, as he'll get it figured out so we can get going here soon.
Your current rundown here as we're getting set to go green here. Gary Bauer is your leader with a 39 at Chase Caber second, Nick Doucette third, Dale Smalley fourth, Christopher Mark in fifth with Galen Gidman, Jay Anderson, Ben Manning, Everett Lane, and Nathan Sedlak, your top 10.
We'll have to see what Chase has on this restart. He's been trying different things every time as they come to the green to try and stay side by side and have that chance for the lead. But Gary Bauer just instantly changing his starting line every time they do this. That helps him out.
Yeah, it definitely does. Definitely in his favor for sure.
They throw the lights back on one more time for these guys. This is hopefully to go green next time by on lap 29. It's complete lap 127 right there on lap 128. Continuing to be the longest. It's going to be the longest caution of the night so far right now. Completing over half this race under yellow. These drivers not liking that at all, and I'm sure they'll have that fixed next time they come out to Bristol. So like we said, we've got people like James Brown helping them out here, along with Gordon Berkey. They've always have the right on top of these situations to make for better racing.
Yeah, Matt, they'll definitely take this one back to the office and try to figure out what went wrong and where it went wrong, and to try to fix it in case the series does return to Bristol. So that way they can put on a better race for the fans, a better race for the drivers, and a better race for everybody else out there watching this broadcast. It's been a bit of a rough night here for the Cora Sunday Money Series at Bristol, but there's not a doubt in my mind that these guys, they'll go back this next week, see what went wrong, and try to fix it for their return here in the future.
Lights look to be finally staying out here right now on the pace car, as these drivers pulling right up to the bumpers. That pace car is waiting to turn down into pit lane on the front stretch. Chase Cabre, like I said, looking for a new way to restart here. They're side by side coming out of 4. And there's the jump that Bauer is so great at getting. But right behind them, Dale Smalley got the advantage, preferred line on Nicholas Doucette, but he slides up high. Nick's going to clear him coming out of 2. Can he get up to the high side going into 3?
Side by side, Galen Gidman and Dale Smalley for the 5th position now, trying to fight it out. Now Smalley getting to Doucette. He's going to try and make the pass on the outside of the 29. Christopher Mark getting to the outside of the 04 Gidman. Doucette slides a little bit, loses the spot to Smalley. Now Mark is going to come and take the spot away as well. He slips again. The 04 gets all over him, and now the 67 and the 35 get him by. So Nick Doucette making mistakes and losing spots here late in the going.
Churchmo was a lap down twice tonight at some point here, but back into your top 10. The 88 is not giving up, along with Nathan Sedlak, that he's pushing around the track right now, just trying to look for a way by as he goes down to the inside of the 35. With such a strong beat-up car, Churchman not giving up.
Michael Churchman was trying to get a good finish out of a tough night that he has had. Meanwhile, just in front of him, side by side, Ben Manning trying to get around Christopher Mark, can't get it done. He falls back in line. Now Sedlak around the outside of the 88, almost makes contact with the 88, and now the 35 pulls side by side with the 67. Churchman thinking about making it 3 wide to the apron, loses a bit of time, and now Galen Gidman is going to close up, but caution is out again.
Bauer had pulled out to his second lead as that caution came out. Looks like somebody's backwards there on the backstretch. Definitely probably caused the yellow. It's the 0-2 of James Wilkins.
Facing the wrong way on a one-way street, the 0-2 of James Wilkins. Looks like he just got a little bit loose off of turn number 2, spun it down, hit the inside wall with a front end a ton, and spun it back around, and that brings out the caution here once again. Just within 15 laps to go. This one getting down to the nitty-gritty. Gary Bauer had a huge lead, biggest lead that we've seen out of any of the leaders here tonight. And that will shrink back up and give Chase Caber another shot to try to take this win away from him.
Alright guys, as we come into the closing laps, we're going to take our final break tonight. Still here with ETV Live, the Cora Championship Online Racing Association Setup Analyzer, Bristol 150. Gary Bauer, your leader, and we'll see how he does all the way to the Checkered, so don't go away.
Inside SimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Plus other listeners where you can hear everything from Big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETV Live, sports radio, even all that unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks, HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.
Live here with just about 28 laps. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong guy. We got 12 laps here to go. I'm looking at people who are laps down here, so my ticker was a little off. Gary Bauer just going to have probably about 10 laps to go here when they take the final green flag. Dale Somali third, but tough start for Nick Doucette. It looks like he slipped all the way back to 15th, actually pitting under this yellow, as he's one of the last cars on the lead lap, down to 16 cars out of the 35 we started with, all having a chance to win this race still.
Yeah, Matt, we've seen a lot of guys here start to get very, very competitive up towards the front. Nathan Sedlak moving his way from 10th to 5th that last run. He came into pit a little while ago from the lead. He's looking to try to get that lead back, and I can almost guarantee that he's going to make one hell of a charge to get up to the front. Chase Caber, Dale Smalley, Christopher Mark, all these guys have been fast. It'll be interesting to see who can get it.
In the end, it still looks like for a strong night for Bauer, able to pull out by a second over that last restart. Just really helping him out. Chase has to get this restart dialed in to have a shot here for the win tonight. Other than that, it looks like he might be settling for second place, but with a hard-fought battle with Dale Smalley.
Yeah, absolutely. Dale Smalley has been trying to make that outside line work for him. Unfortunately, he's stuck down on the inside right now. We'll see how that goes for him. 9 laps to go when we go green flag racing. Gary Bauer gets off to a phenomenal start once again. Chase Caber drops down in front of Dale Smalley to try to secure his spot. Now Smalley moves to the outside to try to close back in on the 39. Problems in the back of the field, then the yellow is out again.
Joel Wood in the 79 being collected alongside the 18 of Jay Anderson. So, going to pull this back up and see how that was caused. And it looks like some people were just all the way down onto the apron when this happened.
Looks like what caused it. I think I saw the 18 sideways before and got into somebody and caused a couple other cars to spin around. We'll take a quick look at that. I believe something happened there. Looks like the 18 got tapped by the one machine of Everett Lane, and he just kind of got loose and turned into Everett. And then everybody started checking up and crashing into turns 2 and a little bit down on the back straightaway. So quite a bit of an issue here down in turn number 2.
Nick Doucette happy to see this though, as I see he gets through there pretty decently clean. He'll have to give some of the positions back that he gained, but not all of them, so that's one happy kid right there to see that happen. But these guys definitely got to try and get this figured out quick so we can go green once again before the end of this race.
Hopefully these guys can get things back in order. We can get at least another shot at getting this thing finishing under green. Gary Bauer still hanging on to the lead over Chase Caber. He's been beating Caber off the line each and every single time. You would think Caber would try to learn on that a little bit. I mean, Caber's starting in the preferred line up top, but we've seen him drop down and go down to the bottom once Bauer clears him. Dale Smalley, you know he likes that top side. He goes to the top as soon as they hit turn 1. So it'll be interesting to see what these guys can do on this final restart.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what these guys have. Christopher Mark, though, up here, not able to count him out, or anybody at this point that's at least on the lead lap, as we've seen some people go back in a hurry. Mark Montanari, even though rough nights, cracking the top 10 with a beat-to-hell car, or dent on any angle you look at that thing. But he's still out here, and he's going to get a top 10. So, Mark Montanari in the number 14, not giving up ever tonight.
Not at all. We've seen that 14 machine in multiple incidents, but still sitting in the top 10. Not a bad night at all out of 35. If he can just hang on for a few more laps, and he can secure his top 10 and keep it nice and good in the points, and move on to next week to try to keep that run going.
An hour and a half into this, 146 laps in the books. There'll be 5 laps to go right now, and when they cross the line, 4 to go. Looks like lights just went off on the pace car. We'll see if they'll let them go this time by. They'll get lined up side by side.
Final restart here. This is where it all counts. Gary Bauer needs one more good restart, and he can call this race his. He's been able to pull away from the field once he gets off to the restart here. Chase Caber, he knows he's got to get one good restart if he's going to have a shot to take the win here. Dale Smalley, he needs a good start here to try to get by 2 cars and to try to get this one. Christopher Mark's been looking good. Nathan Sedlak as well. So it'll be interesting to see who can get it.
It looks like the officials have gone for the green, white, checkered, lights off. The lights came back on the pace car momentarily, and they're back off. So when they take the green flag, they'll be on lap 149. These drivers are going to be anxious. Green, white, checkered, they got to make 1 lap to be caution-free and end this thing under green, because after that 1 lap, no matter what happens, the whole field can pile up. The first person to make it back is going to be the winner.
Indeed, Matt. 2 laps to go for these guys to figure out who is going to take the win here at Bristol. Gary Bauer, Chase Caber, front row. Here we go. Pace car down onto pit road. Caber closing right up. Bauer gets off to a good start. Not as good as he has before. Green flag is out. Caber still sticking tough to the outside. He's going to drop back though and fall back in line.
Caber tried to cross over into 1, clips the apron a little bit. Dale Smalley pulling up in front of Christopher Mark. 7 dives off into 3 with a great lead. Smalley battling out for 3rd, though. Christopher Mark looking to the inside for that. Pulls 3 behind that said, like, crashing in the back of the field, but white flag has come out. It doesn't matter. Nicholas Doucette involved in that, but we're going to follow this battle for 2nd place. Chase Cabre bumped up by Christopher Mark. Smalley into him. Mark gets 3rd. Smalley going to end up with 4th for the night. That was a crazy 3-wide finish for 3rd place as people getting bumped around. We're going to go back and check out a replay after we figure out who was involved in that race, in that wreck. I know Galen Gidman, Nicholas Doucette both involved, as they just taken the white flag going into 1. These guys were spinning everywhere. Churchma actually looks to be the start of this accident.
A tough race has finally come to an end. Gary Bauer hangs on to pick up the win. Chase Caber second. Christopher Mark third. Dale Smalley fourth. Nathan Sedlak fifth. Ben Manning sixth. Ross Cato seventh. Travis Brown eighth. Joel Wood ninth. And Michael Churchma in 10th.
Yeah, look, checking out this wreck one more time, guys. Churchman just gets bumped by the 67 and put into the wall. Everybody checking up. They were 4 wide at one point. Montanari involves. Not going to be able to come away with the top 10, I don't think, tonight after that wreck. So it's sad to see that guy who tried so hard with such a beat-up car to finish. But we're going to step away for a moment to collect the top 3 here and get them up to talk to you guys about their race. So we'll be right back here on ETV Live.
It's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4, and the checkered flag, he wins his first.
Inside SimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Alright, back here live to the replay for that crazy finish 3rd place. Just trying to still collect one more driver here, but Kyle's going to run you through that. Right,
Great side-by-side finish there for the 3rd place. Christopher Mark just able to hang on to the 3rd place with Dale Smalley and Chase Caver barely hanging on off of those guys. A very crazy 3-wide finish for that 2nd spot. A very exciting finish after a bit of a struggle for this race. Well, we got a minute here down with our 2nd place finisher here, Chase Caber in the number 39 machine. Chase, you were stuck in 2nd there for the majority of the race. Couldn't get quite a few green flag runs there to have a shot at Gary, but you were able to hang on to 2nd after that crazy finish. Talk about your race.
Yeah, I got taken out early in the race by Everett, and that just put me way back in the back, and I spent the whole race trying to come up through the field, and I knew I had something for Gary, but I made a boneheaded mistake and tore down the fence coming out of turn 4 and knocked my toe out. So I was tight for the last 20 laps, and I knew I was just gonna have to do everything I could to hold off Christopher and Dale back there. But oh well, I made a mistake. I lose for it.
So having that toe problem, do you think that all these cautions actually helped you stay in second, or do you think that it really wouldn't have made much of a difference to you?
Oh, definitely the cautions helped. Everybody was praying for green flag runs, and my toe was so far knocked out. I was praying for cautions because, I mean, you saw within two laps they were both to me, and I had to hold them off for one corner. And we came to the line, had to been 3 wide. It was a pretty good finish.
Yeah, it was a very crazy finish there. I mean, talk about that. I mean, you're running with 2 other guys for the second spot, 3 wide, not a lot of room there. I'm sure that was a bit of a crazy finish, probably a little bit crazier from there inside the car than it was from us watching.
Yeah, definitely. Coming out of turn 2, I knew I was gonna have to do everything I could to hold off Dale because he had a big run, and I went to the high side to block his run, and I figured he was gonna shoot low me, but he stayed up right there behind me, and Christopher shot underneath him, and he had a bigger run, so I dove underneath him, or I dove in front of him, and we came to the line 3 wide, and I honestly thought I was gonna get turned. They did a good job keeping it off me. I was all over the track.
A very crazy finish on the end there for the number 39, Chase Caber. He brings it home second here tonight. Chase, he can't do this alone. Who do you got to thank?
I definitely gotta thank NPR for the setup, but Job Site Concrete and Focused Iowa, I think, for all the help coming aboard with me.
That's our second place finisher, Chase Caber, here in the number 39 for the Cora Sunday Money Race at Bristol Motor Speedway. And I believe Matt has caught up with our third place finisher. Matt, take it away.
Hey guys, down here with Christopher Mark. Insane finish coming out of turn 4 to pick up third place over Dale Somali. What was your thoughts coming out of 4 when those cars were just bumping everywhere and hitting the walls?
It was crazy. I was just hoping that Dale was not going to spin out Chase and was going right into me, but we both kept it up there, and I was proud to finish in front of the season 1 and 2 champions, so that made me feel pretty good about that. First race here, and that was a pretty good finish for me.
I mean, we know that was only the 150th lap. What about the rest of your race? Working your way through the field, definitely a lot of accidents and caution laps tonight, making it hard to pass. How did you get through that?
I don't even know. I got wrecked first caution, second lap by Everett at the wall, and I was right behind there. I got rear-ended, and then Ralph checked up, got in back at Everett again. I was probably average 30th, but I just passed like one car each caution. Luckily, we had about 30 cautions there, so I just made up very slowly, but I finally got there at the end.
All right, Chris. Who helped you out tonight? The teammates, the pit crew, obviously, or maybe some just supporting family members. Who got it done for you?
Well, I don't have any team anymore, but I had to thank number 51, Nick, or Paul. His name's Nick, but he's Paul there. He helped me out. We were working together. We were on TeamSpeak there. Him and Chase were also both helping me there. We were doing restart, trying to help each other get to the front. Unfortunately, Paul had some damage there, and he had to pit, so we only finished second and third.
All right, guys, you heard it from your third place finisher tonight. Just barely squeaking it out over Dale Somali to get some of the cash and bring it home. But Kyle Young has caught up with our winner, Gary Bauer, in the 07.
Down here in victory lane with the number 07, Gary Bauer climbing out of the car. Confetti, Gatorade all over the place as he celebrates this big win. Gary, you led the most laps tonight, 77 of the 150 laps. Led the majority of that second half of the race there. A bit of a slow-paced race, but for you being out front, I'm sure it wasn't that big of an issue for you. Talk about your night.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, you hate to see that many cautions, and it's the last time I was on here. I think I brought up patience as a key, and it's really the key here, because if you're faster, you're going to get by, and if you try to force something, there just isn't room. Hopefully the guys all learn from this, and the next time we race here, it's not a better turnout for me, but for the whole league as a group.
Yeah, a bit of a rough race there. It was expected in a way with a lot of drivers here. In trying to avoid everything, being out front probably the best way to do things. But something interesting that we had noted on, you didn't come down pit road at all in this entire race. Talk about that being an interesting strategy for you there, trying to stay out front and not have to worry about pitting.
Well, that was my plan all week long. I've been practicing that on my qualifying race the other night. I got up to second. I made sure I got out to I don't know, like a 2 or 3 second lead over third and fourth, and just held it there. But this car here runs all day here. Like I said earlier in our conversation, I've run 100 laps and still running 16.1s and 16.2s. It'll run all night.
Gary Bauer definitely setting up for a very fast race car tonight. Picks up the victory. Gary, who do you got to thank?
I definitely have to thank MPR, race setup analyzer, Mark Montanari, my teammate Jay Anderson, and Mark Montanari, and of course always a Cora, ETV. Thank you guys. We appreciate everything you all do for all of us, and it gives us something fun and exciting to look forward to, and hopefully the next one is going to have a lot more green laps for the viewers.
Your winner here tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway, the number 07 of Gary Bauer. Now, Matt, we'll send it back to you for your final thoughts on tonight's event.
Yeah, tonight's definitely a slow race, probably a very slow average speed over the time, Kyle, but definitely a great finish at least. We finished under green like Gary hoped to. So definitely green, white, checkered, interesting finish, and I'm glad it ended that way.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. We saw one hell of a finish for a bit of a slow race. For when we were green flag racing, it was very entertaining and very exciting to watch these guys, as it is every time we come here to Bristol. Each lane was being used up. Lots of close racing amongst these guys. It's always a fun and entertaining thing to see when we come here to Bristol.
Yeah, and I think we're going to close it out for the night, guys. So 150 laps. It was the setup analyzer Bristol 150. Gary Bauer taking home the gold today and the most cash. So we'll see you guys next week here with Championship Online Racing Association Sunday Money Series. Tonight it was me, Matt Close, Kyle Young alongside me, and Laura Lawson down there pushing the buttons for LSR TV. So hope to see you guys again.